11/11, November 11th. I wanted to do this video on signs and synchronicities from the universe. And a lot of people report that they see repeating patterns, repeating numbers, repeating signs consistently. And one of those numbers that a lot of people tend to say is 11. The master numbers, 11, 22, 33, 44, and so on. 11 is very prominent when it comes to these topics of people seeing them reoccurring in their life. And this is a way that your intuition is trying to speak to you, the universe is trying to speak to you, if you will. It can be something very small to something very big. You just have to learn over the course of your life to pick up on it and know how to read it and how to get more in tune with it. So it can be something like, say on like November 11th, you've been smoking a bunch of weed lately and over the last little bit of your life, and say last night, like November 10th, you just got really high and you woke up this morning and you just had this like epiphany of, man, I really need to just kick this weed once and for all. So I'm going to decide today, November 11th, that I'm going to just stop smoking weed. And say November 12th, tomorrow, you're just back on it. Like you told yourself on the 11th you're going to stop, but then on the 12th you meet up with a friend or something and they're like, hey, I got this new weed, or I got this edible or something, and then you're like, oh well, and then you kind of cave in and you go and have a session with your friend or whoever. And so you told yourself that you wanted to get on track, and you know it intuitively that that's what you want to do. And so then on the 12th you get back off track, and so maybe later down the road, in the month or later in the year or next year, just you start seeing 11s everywhere, and you don't know why you're seeing 11s everywhere. And then you start to remember, oh, like I told myself on the 11th of November that I was going to stop smoking weed. And so it's kind of like the world's way of reminding you of certain things. So that can happen when you start noticing certain numbers reoccurring. Try to pick up on things that you've said, things that you've done, people that you've met, interactions that you've had, conversations, life events. Try to pay attention to it, because seeing those patterns is a big sign that the universe is trying to tell you something. It's kind of like if you get into a routine where you have to wake up for work at like 7 a.m. If you do that enough, you don't even have to set an alarm clock, because your body just knows that it's 7. Everybody has that experience where they wake up at a certain time because they've always woken up at that time, and they start to wonder, like, that's crazy. How does my body just know that it's 7 or 6:15 or 5:45? Like, how does my body just know? Because your body knows. Your body has that internal clock. It has that intuition. It has that knowing. It's always on. Like, you're always in motion. Your brain's always working. Your intuition is always there. Even when the conscious mind doesn't recognize it, the subconscious recognizes it. So when it comes to these signs and symbols and patterns from the universe, just take note of it and be open to it. And some people will say, oh, that's very new agey and it just doesn't sound like it's true. But depending on where you are in your journey, you're going to notice that we are connected to everything here, in terms of us being a life form, and animals are life forms, plants are life forms. We're all connected to what's going on here in biology and in the universe. So when you get more in tune with that, you'll notice these signs and you'll get better at making sense of the signs and what they mean. So one way to get more in tune with that, more on the frequency of understanding it, is cutting the alcohol, cutting the drugs, cutting the stuff that isn't good for you, stuff that isn't just like healthy food and water and nourishment. Like, start getting rid of the vices, the porn, the masturbation, go on nofap, go on semen retention. Make sure you're getting a full night's sleep. Make sure you're exercising. Make sure that your body and your mind and your spirit are at maximum levels that they can be. And we all slip up and we all have vices here and there. And it's not about like a 100% streak of doing something from now until the rest of your life, but Like I said, it can be something that simple where you just decide today, like you smoked a lot of weed yesterday on the 10th, and today on the 11th, you decide I'm going to stop smoking weed. You run into a friend on the 12th tomorrow, and you guys start smoking again. A couple weeks down the line, you might start seeing a bunch of 11s, and then you're trying to make sense of it, and then you have that memory, that realization, that epiphany, like, oh, I remember on the 11th, I told myself I was going to stop smoking, and I didn't, and I kept smoking. So now that I'm seeing these 11s, it's kind of like the universe's way of telling me, hey, get back on track. Like, this was an important step in your journey. This was an important chapter of your story to really cut the weed once and for all. And whether you do or not from there is up to you, but the universe will give you those signs. It will give you those like warnings, if you will. Whether it's a good sign or a bad sign, just be open to it. Be open to what your intuition is telling you, what your gut is saying. And a lot of it too can just be your karma and understanding what you've been putting out into the world coming back to you in a certain way. And it can be the universe's way of telling you to watch out for something, or to take note of a certain habit you have, or a certain way that you're conducting your life. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of layers, and so there's no answer in terms of, hey, you're seeing this number, what does this number specifically mean? You have to do the soul searching yourself and see what that means in your life. And it's not just numbers, it can be patterns in a bunch of different ways. Letters, a certain color, just a certain reoccurring thing that's happening that you're noticing that's more distinct and more frequent than other things, enough to the point where you've taken note of it. That's something you got to figure out within yourself. You got to understand what that means. It's hard to, because we're not taught any of this stuff, like synchronicities and frequencies and the universe and the collective consciousness. We're not taught any of this stuff, so it's very individual. Anyone that tells you that, oh, this specific number means this specific thing for your life, they're just not telling you the truth, because that's something individual to your life for you to make sense of. You're the only person that's going to be there 24/7 within your own life. So if you're seeing these reoccurring numbers, these reoccurring patterns, just know that it could be a number of things, whether it's positive or negative in the course of your life. You have to make sense of why you're seeing something over and over again. You have to make sense of what the meaning is. And you might be wrong, you might be right, but you'll get better at it as you stay open to the concept of that. Stay open to the fact that you're connected to everything here in the universe, and that there's power to being here. Like, even people too that they go through their life and they feel like there's no meaning and they have no hope and nobody cares about them. They have nobody to talk to. They have no purpose. And so you see a lot of people that get very depressed and they're suicidal, and they feel like they're all alone in this world, and that nobody understands them. But really, there's value to you. There's value to your existence, regardless of what you were taught about the world, or the point of things, or what your family tells you, or what society tells you, or certain peers of yours. Your life has importance. There's meaning to you being here. So you have to figure out what that meaning is, and you have to be open to it. And the right people will come at the right times to give you the message that you need to hear. Just stay open to the fact that you can receive information. Sometimes too, it's just as simple as if you have a certain question that you want to ask about yourself or the universe, put it out into the universe. Like, be open to it. Just be like, hey, I'm having this thought about this person I met, or this girl, I need a sign, or like a sign for my work or my family situation, or my career. Something, you have some question about the overall scope of your life, a spiritual question, ask the universe. Like be open to it. Be just like, tell the world, hey, give me a sign. I'm open to the signs. Put that out there. Put that energy out there. Be open to it, and you'll start to notice the signs more often. You'll start to pick up on it. You'll start to make sense of reoccurring patterns and numbers and things that don't make sense to you necessarily, but you know they're there. And you don't have a concrete answer, because these are things that aren't really talked about. But when you get more in tune with that, take care of your health, take care of your body, take care of your fitness. Like, get on like a really healthy frequency, a healthy wave, whether it's like your healthy food and the healthy diet, getting good sleep, drinking a lot of fresh water, getting nourishment, getting out in the sun, in the open air, being open to other people and dialogue and concepts that you weren't necessarily raised by. Get yourself on that positive frequency and be open to signs from the universe. This has nothing to do with a certain religion or a culture or whatever. Every person is subjected to this world that we live in. So we all have eyes and noses and mouths, ears. So it doesn't matter what your race or religion is. It's anyone can pick up signs from this world. Anyone can pick up signs from this universe. Every single religion has had people that have seen reoccurring numbers and patterns and things in the world that they can't explain. So this has nothing to do with a certain like religion, or people say, oh, this sounds so new age. This is like, you think you're so like some spiritual guru. It's just like, no, this is universal stuff. Like people seeing the 11s, that is very universal. You talk to men and women, young, old, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, atheist, it doesn't matter. A lot of people do see 11s or a 3 or 17 or whatever it is. Like I said, it's individual to your path. You got to make sense of it yourself. There's not like one answer in terms of number 2 means this, and you've seen 2 5 different times in the course of a week, therefore it means this. It's relative. And you can also be looking into things more than they are, or you're not looking into things enough. But again, it's like anything. It's like developing a skill in anything, like a trait or a skill that you want to improve. Intuition is like that. You get stronger with your intuition as you grow up and you get older. You're able to perceive things more. You're able to know what the meaning of that was. So just stay open to it. Stay open to the signs, the numbers, and especially on this day, 11/11, November 11th. A lot of people will say they always look at the clock at 11/11 or 9/11 or 3:06 or 4:22. They have like a certain time that they see it and they don't know why. Just if you notice it though, to the point where you've actually taken note of it because it happens so much, just be open to it. Be open to what the universe might be telling you.